Hi, I'm Phil Brock. This is Brock on Your Block, and I'm staying on the storied old timbers of the Santa Monica Pier today, and I'm here with Greg Morena, who's a longtime Santa Monica resident who also happens to own the Albright. We're going to talk about Santa Monica because it's our hometown.
Yeah, that's right.
You went to elementary school here.
That's right, Grant alumni.
And are you a North boy? So you're a South boy.
Southsider.
See, I'm North City.
Ah,
I'm Madison, I'm Lincoln, and Samohi. Now you were Grant?
John Adams.
Oh, a Jams person.
That's right.
And Samohi.
Yeah, before it was called Jams, you know.
It was back then. It was John Adams. Yes, yes. When people could still say a whole name.
Yeah.
So, what year did you graduate from Samohi?
1996.
Ah, okay. So '96. Ben Allen graduated the same year, right?
Right.
He's our state senator.
He was the president. I was the vice president.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I did all the hard work.
I was
an
ASB cabinet too. Look at that. Yeah. Samohi alumni.
Yeah.
Do you still live in Santa Monica?
Yeah. Still live in Santa Monica. After school, I went to San Diego State. I was a football player.
Okay.
So all I cared was about football.
Right.
So I went to San Diego State. It was the closest D1. I wasn't big enough to go elsewhere.
Right.
So played football there for a couple of years. Transferred to Northridge.
What position did you play?
Running back.
Ah, so you could run. All right. This restaurant.
Yes.
Tell me about your career and living in Santa Monica today.
Yeah. Well, it's a family restaurant. The family started back in '77. My wife and I both cut our teeth in the fashion business, actually.
Now, I heard you guys lived next to each other growing up.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. Okay.
It's cool. Right on 21st and between Ocean Park and Pearl.
Okay.
And we still live there today, actually. And my brother lives in my old family house, and we live in my wife's house.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So, you have a restaurant down here. Does anyone who live in Santa Monica, if they live here, do they still go to the pier? Do they eat down here? And because so many people are saying they've written off downtown, they've written off the pier, they just can't get here anymore.
Yeah.
How do you get them down here?
I call and ask them to come down for lunch.
Okay. How do you get the people on the east side of the city to believe they can still come down to the pier, and that it's our city's pier, not just the 7.9 million tourist pier?
There's still a couple secret roads.
Okay.
I think we all know.
Don't mention those. Don't mention those because we don't want other people to know them. Yeah.
But you know, locals know, right? When we want to get somewhere, we get there. Period. We're from Santa Monica, so we figure things out. We adapt, as we always have.
What percentage of your clientele is Santa Monica, would you say?
You know, it's a minority for sure, but it's an increasing minority.
Okay. How do you value the pier from when you were a little kid, when you were 5 years old, coming to the pier for the first time, to now? What do you think of the Santa Monica Pier?
When I was growing up in the '80s, down here was a little sketchy. You know, my dad had me home before dark.
Right.
Now it's like my backyard. You know, I'm here every day. I love it. You know, I love everything about it. So for me, you know, I'm somewhat blinded by love.
Right.
Right. I love the city. I love that we have the opportunity to make a difference. I don't feel like that exists in other cities. I think that it's wonderful when the people I grew up with are still here. I love being in that small
connection,
community. I think that's.
Aren't there times that sometimes you and I can feel like we're still in a small town?
Yeah, that's right.
And
like
I love
this,
that.
Like
Yeah,
this.
I love
right?
that.
At an old local place, talking about Santa Monica. I feel like that doesn't happen enough. But we still get to experience it here and on the pier.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's not a lot of.
Well, I told you off camera a little while ago that my grandfather used to bring me to the ends of that part of the pier and to go fishing. It really was in those days. It was the locals' pier.
Right.
It wasn't the tourists. A few tourists found it, but it was locals.
Right.
Now it's the tourists. I want to make sure that our locals still can enjoy the pier downtown and feel like this is still their community every day. So, what were the other things that you thought were great about Santa Monica?
Dogtown was the south side of Santa Monica, the north side of Venice.
Absolutely.
Right? So that was my neighborhood growing up. Okay.
But and as much as I grew up on the north side, Dogtown,
Yeah.
much cooler. Much cooler.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
This is where we came to party. This
That's
is where
right.
we came to hang
That's
out.
right. We
Station
skateboarded
26
here.
and
That's
skateboarding
right.
and everything else.
That's the South Side.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I love the police and the fire because, God forbid, you have a problem, they come. I mean, I have kids now, and you know, it makes all the difference in the world. I feel safe. 5
things that you would like to change about Santa Monica.
I'd like to get my generation more involved, right? I think the thing that I love about Santa Monica is that we have the ability to change it. I think we have to take action to change it, and so we need that motivation.
So it can't just be the old people who are involved. It needs to be the young people too.
Yeah, well, we're going to be old.
It needs to, yeah.
I'm a lot older than I was.
There you go. So it needs to be cross-generational.
That's right.
And you know what's interesting is that last week we had a lot of kids and teens at City Hall talking about the need for more parks.
Right.
And if you heard those kids from 7 years old to 18 years old to the student body president in Samohi talking about the need for green space, the need for parks, they don't want a city populated by high-rises. They want a city that is livable, that's low-rise, that's comfortable, that's still cool with a lot of local businesses. And that's where the Albright comes in. You're a local business.
Right.
And that, to me, is important because we're increasingly, you know, where we have 24 Starbucks in Santa Monica, how do we keep local flavor? How do we keep a local atmosphere so that those businesses go from generation to generation and people, you know, see that it's local?
I think we're doing it, right? I mean, Career Day at Samohi is on Tuesday.
Yes,
right?
And we're both involved in
that's
that.
Right. We're both involved, but that's where we start, right?
Yeah.
Those kids are local, right? And so we teach them today that they can continue being in our community for the next 30 years, just like me.
Right.
Right? I mean, they have that opportunity, and if they can think about it today and they can imagine it today, they'll be there tomorrow.
And you know, for me, my grandparents moved here in the 1920s. My mother was born in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I grew up, by the time I was at Lincoln and Samohi, this was going to be my home forever. I couldn't imagine going someplace where there was snow or flat plains. You know, the old adage that we grew up with, we can go surfing in the morning and go skiing, night skiing. Then that was awesome. So you'd like to see more connectivity, more passion from our young, and more involvement in city politics and in our city and charities. As you go forward and see your children grow up, what would you like to see in Santa Monica? How do you want their Santa Monica to be?
You know,
for the next
we're
generation.
already starting it, right? I mean, we've worked a lot with the Office of Sustainability. We're the first green business on the pier.
Oh,
which is cool.
That's very good.
Yeah. But you know, when my kid learns about what the future is going to be, he has to see it as a sustainable world, right? And so Santa Monica leads the charge far and away, right? We're number one. That's another thing I love about the city, right? And I want my kid to think critically and creatively about how to maintain that, but also grow it, right? So we become the influence.
Which we talked about off camera too, which involves transportation too.
That's right.
Light rail's coming.
Right.
Bike sharing.
Right.
All the different modes of transportation that we can use to make sure that people can get around our city and can come down to the Albright to get a bite to eat as well. What do you serve at the Albright?
Lobster, live lobster and crab. Fish and chips.
And is the food good?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I actually do like it.
Well, you're supposed to. If you don't love it, that's a real problem.
I really do. I mean, I eat here every day, right? And I've learned to love salads, right?
Right.
That's another thing I love about Santa Monica, right? They're encouraging healthy living.
Yeah.
And part of that involves a bike share and biking and bicycle.
Wellness and having enough. And I'm going to go back to, because one of my other jobs, I'm the chair of the Recreation and Parks Commission.
Yeah, right.
I want more parks.
Right.
We are significantly underparked for a city our size in California.
Yeah.
So you can help with that by making sure you encourage more green space in our city. You know, Samohi, 971 kids are in sports, in athletics. More than when I was there, more than when you were on campus. I think that's phenomenal because those kids are going to grow up and they're going to stay active till they die.
That's right.
I think that's wonderful. That's a fabulous thing.
I'll give you a great tidbit. It took me about 10 minutes to ride my bike from my house to the pier the other day, and I'm passing everybody in traffic.
Right.
Right. So being active, right, is something that carries through. right? And if we
Absolutely.
can integrate it into our work life.
Absolutely. Now, were you ducking and dodging, pretending you were still a tailback? I mean, it's just...
No, I got kids, man. I'm a
You gotta be
safe driver.
careful now.
I got a helmet on and everything.
All right, that's good.
It's not very south side of me, but it's good enough.
All right, well, that's good, though. For Brock on your block, I've enjoyed meeting with Greg and hanging out with him this afternoon at the Albright in Santa Monica. I love when we, as I talk about every week, we talk about the fabric and thread of this community. Your parents, your wife's parents, you're the second generation owners of this restaurant. That's part of the thread of Santa Monica. That's what we want to encourage. And now lastly, I understand you're not a member of the Alumni Association, and on camera right now, you're going to join before we publish this. For Brock and your block, I'm Phil Brock. Thank you for watching.